Hello, friends, and welcome back to TJKidz Super Fun Stories, where imagination becomes reality. Yes, you read that right. Your favorite monsters are back for some more Halloween fun. But they're in disguise? I wonder why. Are they private detectives on a mission to find someone? That's not very Halloweeny. Or maybe they're hiding from something? I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to listen to find out. If you haven't already heard the Halloween Haunting Club Part 1, now would be a good time to check that one out. And you can always come back to this one. But for those familiar with our monster crew, let's get to it and find out what these monsters are up to. So grab a comfy spot, get cozy, and join me for this Halloween adventure. The Halloween Haunting Club, Part 2, Monsters in Disguise. For the past few years, the Halloween Hangout Club, formerly known as the Halloween Haunting Club, had become a cherished tradition. Every Halloween night, after the last porch light flickered off and the candy buckets were full, the kids would sneak off to the old Willowbrook Cemetery, where Vlad the vampire, Ursula the witch, Fang the werewolf, and Benny the bat waited with excited anticipation and empty treat bags. The kids and monsters of the Halloween Hangout Club would share candy, swap stories, and laugh through the night. Fang once tried bubblegum, but that turned out to be quite a mess when he blew a bubble and the gum got all stuck in his fur. Benny only ate sour candies, and they would give him a little bit of a sugar rush. One time, he ate a few too many, sending him zooming in loop-de-loops until he crash-landed into Ursula's cauldron, yelling, "I'm Benny the battering ram!" But this year, something was different. One night before Halloween, Landon, one of the kids in the Hangout Club, found a message carved into the pumpkin on his porch. The message read, "Meet us tonight instead. We have a surprise. Vlad." So Landon called over his friends, Kira, Lucy, and Jason, and he showed them the pumpkin message with the change in plan. "I wonder why they want to meet us early this year," Kira asked. "I don't know," said Landon, "but it sounds important. We'll meet at the cemetery gates at sundown." And the friends agreed. Later that night, the kids arrived at the usual spot. The monsters were already there, pacing nervously. "Hey guys," Landon said. "What's going on? Is everything okay?"
"Well," said Vlad, "we know this may sound silly, but we've never gone trick-or-treating before. We always wait until it's over."
"We want to try it," said Ursula. "Just once."
The kids lit up.
"That's a great idea," said Kira. "You'll love it. It's the best part of Halloween."
Fang slumped his shoulders and put his head down.
"Besides hanging out with you guys, of course,"
she said, realizing that Fang was feeling a bit disappointed.
"Are you sure we won't be a bother?"
asked Fang. "Are you kidding me?" Landon blurted. "Trick-or-treating with actual monsters? It will be the best night ever." So the monsters and kids agreed to meet at the cemetery gates at sundown on Halloween night. The next evening, just after sunset, the kids snuck out to the cemetery to meet up with their monster friends. "You guys ready?" asked Landon.
"Well, we must admit,
We are a bit nervous, said Vlad.
Seriously? Asked Kira. You guys will be a hit. You already have the best costumes yourselves.
So off they went, monsters and kids together, door to door. But things didn't go quite as planned. At the first house, a man squinted at Vlad. Aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating? I'm timeless, Vlad responded. Aren't you a little too boring to be a candy man? The man abruptly closed the door before giving any candy to the monsters. At the next house, a girl cringed at Ursula.
Your costume doesn't look very realistic. You didn't even paint your face right.
Ursula looked shocked.
Hey, she said, this is my face, and I don't need any makeup. But you could probably use a splash of green, dearie.
The girl slammed the door shut, and the monsters struck out again. No candy. Fang got it the worst at the next house. A boy holding a candy dish looked him up and down.
You're just wearing a fuzzy hoodie. That's not even scary.
It's not a hoodie,
Fang replied.
What do you think of these?
Fang flashed his sharp teeth for the boy to see. The boy rolled his eyes.
Whatever.
Then Fang let out a frustrated howl. Ow! And the boy screeched, dropping the candy dish and falling backward onto the welcome mat. The kids looked over at Fang with surprise. The boy wasn't hurt, just startled, but Fang looked guilty.
Fang, said Kira.
I didn't mean to scare him. That much,
he mumbled. After several houses and zero candy, the monsters sat on the curb, feeling defeated.
This was a mistake, said Ursula. We're no good at this, and nobody wants us here.
I thought Halloween was about being scary,
said Fang.
Maybe we need to blend in, said Benny. Like, wear costumes?
The kids perked up.
That's a great idea, said Kira. We have some extras at my house.
Yeah, said Landon. That just may work.
See, we think you guys look great, but maybe if we dress you up, you'll blend in a bit more, and maybe even get some candy.
So the Halloween Hangout Club headed over to Kira's house and met in the garage. Kira came out with a trunk full of costumes. Vlad dressed as a cowboy, complete with hat and toy lasso. Yee-haw, he said, looking embarrassed. Ursula slipped into a pink ballerina tutu and used makeup to cover her green skin.
I feel like a jelly bean.
Fang put on Kira's dad's old Yeti costume.
This is ridiculous,
he muttered.
I am a monster. Why am I pretending to be a different one?
The kids covered Benny in feathers and fastened a bird beak to his mouth. He went as a parrot and rested on the shoulder of Jason, who was already dressed as a pirate.
Rah! Benny want a cracker?
He squawked. The kids burst out laughing. You all look amazing. We look ridiculous, Vlad said, rolling his eyes. But the monsters agreed to give it a try, and they headed back out onto the streets in their disguises. When they returned to the neighborhood, something unexpected happened. Cool cowboy costume, said a dad, dropping candy into Vlad's bag. What a beautiful ballerina, said a mom, handing Ursula a chocolate bar. Whoa, that Yeti costume is awesome, said a kid, giving Fang a handful of chocolate bars. The monsters were shocked, but they were loving all the positive attention and comments they were getting. Best of all, they were successfully trick-or-treating and getting some of their favorite candy. By the end of the night, their treat bags were full and their hearts even fuller.
I guess Halloween isn't just about being scary,
said Ursula.
It's about having fun,
said Benny.
And being creative, I suppose,
added Vlad. Fang smiled. Next year, I'm gonna be a robot.
I'm thinking a pirate,
said Vlad.
Oh, I want to be Dorothy,
said Ursula.
Benny, you can be Toto and sit in my basket. I think I'm pretty limited to things that can fly,
Benny said with a giggle. And the kids all laughed. We'll help you pick out costumes every year, said Landon. Our new tradition. And the Halloween Hangout Club was no longer just about meeting up and sharing candy on Halloween. Now the monsters and kids had added a whole new level of fun. And that meant no more hiding in the shadows. For one night of the year, the monsters got to be just like kids and share in the full celebration of Halloween. And they couldn't have been happier. The end. And that's the end of our story, friends. The poor monsters. Can you believe that they were actually just being themselves and people didn't believe their costumes were any good? Of course, this is just a silly story. But in reality, you should always be yourself and be proud of who you are. But in this case, people had never seen monsters before, so they were expecting them to look like how costumes or the movies portray monsters. But the good news is that the monsters got to enjoy the actual tradition of Halloween dress-up from this experience. And it actually turned out better and more fun than expected because they tried something new. Halloween is for everyone, young or old, spooky or silly. So on Halloween this year, give a compliment to a friend and tell them that you like their costume. It may not be your favorite, but it's special to them. Well, that's it for today, friends. Stay tuned for some more Halloween fun every day this week. See you on the next one. Toodles!